Alrighty, if we could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call this meeting to order at 7:01. Mr. Deputy Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Okay. Bond Crooks.
Here.
Benedetti.
Here.
Cabawatton.
Present.
Hornbeck.
Here.
Peruggi. Rodriguez. Rizeppa.
Here.
Quorum present. Mayor Rizeppa.
Thank you, sir. Could we get a motion to excuse?
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Councilman Nelson Peruggi
Support.
and Dora Rodriguez.
Moved and supported. Seeing no other discussion, is unanimously so ordered. Thank you all. First we have here is the minute approval of the November 12th, 2024 regular meeting.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? It's unanimously so ordered. All right, now we'll bring our friends from Plant Moran up here. If we could get a motion to make their presentation a part of the regular meeting. Motion support, unanimous without any further discussion. So we will turn it over here. We've got our annual audit report from Plant Moran. They'll be putting a presentation up on the screen here for you, and you should have it in your packet. So whenever you guys are ready, we appreciate you being here, and feel free to take it away.
Okay, thank you very much and good evening. So my name is Bill Bricky with Plant Moran. I'm the audit partner on your account. With me today is my associate Nate Shurub. And as discussed, we're here to talk about the audit for the year ended June 30, 2024. So really there's three separate deliverables that we're going to touch on tonight. There's the financial statements, which we've received in your packet. We have the report to mayor and council. And then finally we have the graph presentation, which we'll go through in just a moment. So we have covered all of these documents in detail with management, and our goal tonight is to give you a brief overview of these items and answer any questions that you may have related to the audit. Before we get started, I want to take just a minute and thank the Controller's Office. Jill and her team just do a great job helping us prepare for the audit, and we appreciate all their support throughout the process. So before we get into the graphs, I want to talk about a couple of our audit deliverables. So really our main deliverable to you as your auditor is our opinion on your financial statements. So included in the financial statement document on page 1 and 2 is that audit opinion. So the city did receive what we refer to as an unmodified audit opinion, again in the current year. And that essentially means the statements are in compliance with all the rules and regulations. We often refer to that as a clean audit report. So good news there. So in addition to that audit opinion, the other letter that we issue is there's we call it the end of audit letter or management letter. It's the 7-page letter that accompanied our audit report. And really what this does is this displays the, this kind of goes through our audit plan and process and kind of what happened. And if we had any audit findings, they'd be disclosed in there. So I'm happy to report that we did not have any audit findings in the current year. So as you look through that letter, really it just discusses the audit process and the fact that we had no issues, no findings, no disagreements with management, anything like that. So again, all good news there. That letter also has a section 2, which is legislative and upcoming accounting pronouncements. So not going to cover that. That's just information in there, not necessarily specific to the city of Trenton, but more or less the governmental industry. So we include that information just for your reference. So overall, the city continues to have strong internal controls, and your team does a great job maintaining the financial records. So again, from the audit perspective, all good news. I think as we go through the graph presentation, you'll see too, from the financial side of things, the financial summary is also good news. I'm going to turn it over to Nate Shurub. We're going to go through the brief presentation here. And this presentation really is just derived from those financial statements, but we find it a little easier to discuss the numbers in graphical format first page and through the 100-page financial statement document. So with that, I'll turn it over to Nate, and we'll go through the presentation.
Hello, everybody. As Bill mentioned, my name's Nate Shurub. I'm on the audit team, and I'm here to walk through the board presentation and our graphs for the audit. There we go. So this first tab here is the general fund revenue on a budget basis. And as you can see, total revenue increased by about $1.5 million or 7% from 2023. The city's largest source of revenue continues to be property taxes, which accounted for $16.2 million, or an increase of about $100,000 over 2023, despite the millage being reduced by 1 mil during the year under audit. The main driver of this increase was a 5% increase to the overall taxable value of the city. Another increase related to federal and state sources, which increased $400,000, primarily due to increases in state personal property tax reimbursements. And finally, other revenue, which is really a catch-all bucket for the rest of the revenue for the city, increased by $800,000, which was due to increased building permit revenue related to ongoing projects by DTE in the city. Next slide here is the general fund expenditure budget basis graphs. Overall, expenditures increased by $1.5 million, or again, 7%, which is in line with our increases in revenue. And the city's cost structure remained consistent with the prior year, and the increases were primarily driven by inflationary increases to wages and benefits, increased capital spending in the current year, which related to purchases of vehicles, equipment, and LED lights for streetlights. Here we have the fund balance schedule, which is a breakdown of the general fund's fund balance as of June 30th, 2024. So overall, fund balance increased by $1.2 million, and at year end was $10.693 million. Unassigned fund balance, which is a portion available for future appropriations, was $4.5 million. This would be around 20% of annual expenditures, which is considered an adequate level for unassigned fund balance. The other portions of the general fund's fund balance are assigned, which is made up of $4.6 million in assignments related to equipment and capital projects, post-retirement benefits, pension benefits, and compensated absences. And then there is committed fund balance for compensated absences, restricted fund balance for police, refuse, and construction code fees. And then finally, there's a small amount of non-spendable fund balance related to prepaids and inventory.
So, just to pause you real quick, Nate, and
Yes.
I know it says it on the page, but I just want to relish in it for a second and make you repeat it. So could you tell us, just tell everyone, so how much did our fund balance increase over the last budget year there?
So fund balance for the general fund increased by $1.2 million.
Cool, thank you. So,
You okay now?
yeah, just so everyone's allowed to smile. It's good.
Yeah.
All right, cool, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So this slide here is a history of tax revenue and the city's millage rates over the past 4 years. It really just breaks down the millage rates as a portion of the total tax revenue. So the overall millage, as I noted before, did decrease by 1 mil in the current year to 24.75 mils. However, there still was over $16 million in tax revenue generated during the year. And the solid waste, police and fire pension and operating mills are reported in the general fund, and the sewer debt and the library are reported in separate funds. All right, on to our last two slides here, which relate to our legacy costs. So here is a history of the pension and OPEB costs. In the current year, the city incurred about $6.8 million to fund those benefits, which is consistent with prior years, and the city continues to make all required contributions. Finally, we have our last slide here, which is a breakdown of the municipal employees retirement plan, the police and fire pension plan, and the other post-employment benefit plans. And these percentages are the funded status, which are impacted by many factors, including things like market performance and the actuarial assumptions used to calculate the total liability. And as noted, the city continues to make all required contributions and is making progress towards full funding of these liabilities. So that's what we had for you. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Great. Well, first off, thank you, Nate and Bill, very much for all you guys' help with this, and we appreciate whenever you bring us good news like that, too. So does anyone from council have any questions for them here?
No.
Great. Thank you guys again very much. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Alrighty. Moving along here, next we have public comment regarding items on today's agenda. This portion of public comment we'll have reserved for items that are on today's agenda, and we'll have another opportunity for all other public comment at the close of the meeting. We'd ask that anyone wishing to speak, please begin with their name and address, direct all questions through me, and please limit your comment to 5 minutes. Let's see if we have any. All right. Moving along, next we have here under appointments for the Traffic Safety Commission, asking for this body's approval of my appointment of Sandra Meeks to the Traffic Safety Commission.
moved.
It's a term expiring December 1st, 2027. It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Mr. Deputy Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Benedetti?
Yes.
Capuatten?
Yes.
Hornbeck?
Yes.
Rezeppa?
Abstain.
Bond Crooks?
Yes.
Motion carries, Mayor Rezeppa.
Thank you very much. Now I will defer to our 33rd District Court Delegate, Councilwoman Bond Crooks, for our fines, costs, and fees for October 2024.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to receive and place on file the fines and costs due to the City of Trenton from the 33rd District Court in the amount of $11,054.17.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Councilman Benedetti.
Yeah, I just think at one of these times, since we keep seeing this over and over and over every month, that we need to thank the officers in our town for helping with this, because being at the court budget meeting today, we're one of the very few cities that can say that we are getting money back. So our guys are doing their jobs, they're out there, they're doing it, and we owe that to them to thank them for that. There are cities that are paying every month. So, Deputy Chief, take it back, tell them thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else? All right, it's unanimously so ordered. 2 items here from our administrator. First up is the Michigan Municipal League Liability and Property Pool Insurance Renewal. So, Dean, feel free to take it away.
All right, thank you, Mayor and Council. Before you have the renewal for the Michigan Municipal Liability and Property Pool Insurance Renewal. It's going to be an amount of $319,921. There is a small rebate that we get, as you know, with we had a net increase of $19,260, but there is a rebate that comes back from the pool in the amount of $6,500. So it really brings the net increase back in line with just basically an inflationary increase. So I'm asking you to move to approve Michigan Municipal League Liability and Property Pool Insurance Renewal in the amount of $319,921 beginning 12/31/2024.
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? It's unanimously so ordered. Next up, we have the Building Department Paperless Inspection Program, Software, Hardware, and Training.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Before you, there's quite a few documents attached to this, and this is the program that we've talked about for the last couple years, and we're finally going to get it kicked off here. And this will allow our inspectors to do paperless inspections and reporting. It's going to take a big step out of the whole process that has to go on in the building department. Definitely going to improve efficiencies, and it'll help with the ability of quicker turnaround for inspections, inspection results. This includes the hardware, software, and the associated training. This will allow for online building permits applications, online planning, zoning, engineering, allows for requesting inspections online. There's going to be a portal involved, contractors and licenses to update their contact information, which will help streamline and speed things up. So there's quite a few benefits. So I'm asking you to approve the attached quotes for BS&A Community Development Software and 4 wireless tablets in an approximate amount, $18,356.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? None, it's unanimously so ordered. Thank you, Dean. We're very excited about that. All right, our city attorney, Mr. Ackerman, here is an item, petition to combine and divide property Jefferson Place LLC at 223 West Road.
Thank you, Mayor. Before you is a petition of Jefferson Place to combine and divide property generally at that described area. The submission provides for 2 newly adjusted parcels A and B, which are attached to the petition, the descriptions. What is described is 54-15-0-30, lot 507 with lot 508, and they'll be combined with 509, and then the revised lot 507 will be combined with lots 5, 10, 11, and 12. And then, which is dividing the southern 2 feet of parcel 508 and 509 with the parcel as lot 507. This is shown as the attached description on what's been provided to you, and will now be adjusted parcels A and B within the central business, both within the central business district, as shown in the diagrams attached to the petition.
I would so move.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Councilman Capuano?
Question for you. Does this include that parking lot that we sold to them at one point in time?
No.
It does
This
not.
is only the northern portion that Mr. McNally controls.
Okay.
There were, I think, 3 parcels, Joni, in there. Yeah, and this is just so that the one property line can be moved the 2 feet to be able to put the building in place.
Yeah.
And then he can still retain, in case he wants to separate the parcels.
Okay, so this is all for property that he
He controls, yes.
controls.
Yep.
There won't be a tax loss or
Okay.
anything like that.
No.
Okay.
Cool. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Cool, thank you. And now, seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Thank you, Alan. All right, Ms. Cooper, our city controller, has a police and fire actuarial valuation.
Yes, good evening. So included in your packets was the 2024 Police and Fire Pension Actuarial Valuation Report that was prepared by CAVMAC. The pension actuarial valuation provides the annual required contribution that the city must fund. So our current year funding requirement is $2,660,391. But beginning July 1st, 2025, our contribution will be $2,830,680, which is an increase of 6.4%. The unfunded accrued liability increased from $603,698 in 2023 to $20,976,451 in 2024. So our funded ratio decreased slightly from 71.6% in 2023 to 71.2% in 2024. So if the market value funding ratio was used, our ratio would have been 72.4%. Very exciting. So I am just looking for a motion to receive and place on file the 2024 Police and Fire Actuarial
moved.
Valuation.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered.
Thank you.
Jill. All right, we've got 4 items now from our DPS director, Mr. Sargent. First up here is requesting a 2-year contract extension with Hydro Corp.
Thank you, Mayor. Eagle's Safe Drinking Water Act requires municipalities to comply with a formal cross-connection control program to protect the city's drinking water supply. HydroCorp has been the provider of this service in the city since 2010. They have worked well with the city's water department and the commercial and industrial facilities they inspect annually. They provide quarterly reports and also compile the annual report due to Eagle each year. Attached is a renewal proposal at a cost of $49,560 and will be billed in monthly increments of $2,065. Therefore, I'm seeking authorization to renew a 2-year contract with HydroCorp in the total amount of $49,560 and authorize the mayor to sign the contract on behalf of the city. This is a budgeted item in the existing water fund cross-connection control program account.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Thank you, Kevin. Next, we've got the resolution for the annual Wayne County permits.
Wayne County requires annual permits for maintenance, pavement restoration, and special events. The maintenance and pavement restoration permits allow the city of Trenton to perform work in the Wayne County-owned roads and right-of-ways, such as water main breaks, sewer repairs, and the restoration of any pavement thereafter. The special events permit allows for the city to temporarily close Wayne County roads for such events as the street fair or parades. Therefore, I'm seeking authorization for the city administrator and the DPW director to sign the 2024 Wayne County annual permit package on behalf of the city.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? It's unanimously so ordered. Next, we have the request to purchase front and side load refuse trucks.
Since starting our curbside recycling program, we have seen resident participation grow to the point one truck can no longer complete the route 3 out of the 5 days a week. We have to send out a second truck to assist with collection on those days. This second truck is our backup trash truck, which puts us in a bind in the event a trash truck breaks down. The city owns 3 commercial front-load trucks. The main truck services the businesses, apartments, condos, and schools. The other 2 are at the transfer station, one for trash and one for recyclables. The oldest unit is a 2009 auto car, which has proven too costly to repair. If this purchase is approved, this truck would be sold at auction. Quotes were received from multiple vendors for both styles of trucks. Frederickson Supply was low bid on both. Therefore, I'm seeking authorization to purchase one Labrie side-load residential truck and one Whitkey commercial front-load truck from Frederickson Supply in a total amount of $801,036. Funds are available in the assigned equipment and the restricted refuse fund balance accounts.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Councilman Kitwan?
Hey, Kevin, could you kind of go over some, not necessarily the other bids, but, I mean, was there a pretty steep cost difference between what you brought here before us tonight and some of the other proposals?
Yeah, one of the other proposals, the main proposal we got was the current truck we're using, which is McNeilus. We've been using since about the last 10 years. Basically, in 2022, we paid $330,000 for the last one, and the new quote was at like $450,000. So it really jumped up out of our price range. So we, sought out some other quotes and did a lot of research and stuff, and this I think is our best option.
I appreciate you doing your due diligence on that. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Last item we've got for you, Kevin, a request to extend yearly license with ESRI.
Since obtaining the Eagle Saw grant in 2017, the city and its consulting engineers built a GIS database for all of our utilities. Our engineers, supervisors, and field crews use this platform daily in their job duties. Esri is the sole provider of ArcGIS software, and a yearly license is required to utilize it. Therefore, I'm requesting approval to extend this one-year license agreement from Esri in the amount of $5,190 and to authorize the DPW director to sign the agreement on behalf of the city. Funds were budgeted in the sewer contractual services GIS account.
So moved.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered.
Thank you,
Kevin. All right, next up from our Human Resources Director, Ms. Perry, Ardelis Insurance LTD excess loss insurance contract.
Yes,
Limited.
thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening. Attached are the contract and the rates for the city's stop-loss insurance policy through Ardelis Insurance for the city's self-funded medical insurance plan with ASR. This insurance protects the city by covering any claims in medical or prescriptions over $100,000. So the 2025 rates is an increase, but it's something that we budgeted for. And we did go to market and see if this this remains the most competitive. So with your approval, or with your cooperation, I would ask for your approval for the contract and to authorize me to sign the contract with Ardelis.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered.
Thank you.
Thanks, Elizabeth. All right, now from our Library Director, Ms. Jensen, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Partnership for Pollinator Meadow at Trenton Veterans Memorial Library.
Hi, thank you so much for having us today. This is Mary, and she's from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And she's going to give a presentation on the possibility of a pollinator meadow at the library. And in your packet, you should have a picture where I kind of showed you the area that we're thinking about using. If you have any questions afterwards, I'll be here to answer. Go ahead, Mary. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Mary Holm. I'm a wildlife biologist with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the Partners for Fish and Wildlife program. So, and the mission of the Fish and Wildlife Service, if you don't know or haven't heard of us, is to work with others to conserve, protect, and enhance fish, wildlife, plants, and their habitats for the continuing benefit of the American people. So the Partners program has restored over 500,000 acres of wetland and upland and over 1,200 miles of stream. Those are kind of old numbers, but
I'm just going to tell you a little bit about our program so you have some background. It's a voluntary program. We partner with private landowners to provide financial and technical assistance to restore wetlands, uplands, riparian, and in-stream habitats, mostly for the benefit of federal trust resources, which include migratory birds, threatened and endangered species, interjurisdictional fish, and other pollinators and other species. They also benefit other species, such as game species as well. Oops, going too fast, sorry. These are just some examples of the habitat that we restore with our program, including wetlands, streams, forest, and grasslands. And those habitat types come in all different sizes, so it can be anywhere from a small pollinator garden to a large, 90-acre prairie restoration. And all of these habitats, grasslands, wetlands, forest, are used by pollinators. And we've been doing a lot of work recently in urban areas. So how our program works, biologists really have a good knowledge of a lot of other habitat programs out there. We partner with a lot of other programs, including USDA, Pheasants Forever, Ducks Unlimited, state and federal programs. And then we meet with the landowner and get to know the landowner, whether that be an individual or a city or a nonprofit, to get to know what their goals are with the project. Because we don't want to just meet our goals, we really want to meet the landowner's goals and come together and have a partnership there. And then we put together an agreement and a proposal, and then we make sure everyone's in agreement on that, and then the next step is implementation of the project. We work with local contractors, or we do the work ourselves in-house. Some typical grassland projects, this is what you would see included in a grassland project. So site prep, seeding, follow-up practices, and long-term management. So for our program, we do require a 10-year landowner agreement. And that landowner agreement basically says you're going to keep that land as habitat for 10 years. There's no other restrictions. We want you to use it. We want you to put paths through it. We want you to put signs up. But we want it to still be habitat for at least 10 years. There is always an out in that agreement by both parties with 30 days notice. It would just require paying back any amount that the Fish and Wildlife Service put into the agreement, prorated by how long you're in the agreement. And these are just some examples. There's lots of pretty pictures up here of some of the grassland projects we've done through our program. And these are some typical urban projects. I don't think there's actually a typical urban project. They're all really different. These are just some photos of some of the projects we've done, some with the city of Detroit, some with schools, private landowners, and nonprofits. That one on the lower right is Riverside Park in Detroit. And just some more projects. So why put in a meadow? Why restore this habitat? Who uses it? The better question would probably be who doesn't use it. It's used by pollinators, birds, turkeys, foxes, skunks, deer, snakes. Some of the things maybe people don't like, but almost everything uses this habitat. And the one thing that's not on there is people. It's a big benefit for people. So the importance of planning, why restore habitat? We have a lot of habitat loss, fragmentation, and degradation. There have been significant population declines in native species, including pollinators. And a lot of things to remember with these projects. They take time. Native meadows, planting these projects, they're not, they're not like going to your garden store and buying a bunch of plants and sticking them in the ground and then watering them and they're immediately beautiful. It does take time. We plant seed and some plugs. So a lot of these plants grow their roots first into the ground, and you won't even see anything above ground for a year or two. But that being said, we've had some projects where the first year they're beautiful. It just takes patience, and you have to be flexible with the timeline. The weather doesn't always line up how we want it to. These are some elements of a typical habitat restoration plan. So site assessment, which we've already done. We've gone out to the site and met and talked about goals and objectives and what are the possibilities for the site. It's important to take into account capabilities and constraints of both parties. Do you have equipment to mow it? Can it be mowed the first year? What things can be done? Of course, budget, that's more so probably on our side. This is a cost share program, but we don't require funds. All the cost share could be in kind. So if you have folks out there helping to do any of the site prep or throw seed on the ground or do mowing, we count that as cost share for our program. It's pretty flexible. And then a timeline. We set a timeline for when we want to do things, site prep, planting, maintenance. This will all be in an agreement. Site prep is the first thing. Materials. The Fish and Wildlife Service would put together a seed mix for the site or multiple ones depending on the conditions of the site. So every site is different. It gets a different seed mix based on like the soil types, whether it's sunny and shady or wet or dry. Or there could be, a part of the site that's wet, a part that's dry. So we have two seed mixes. So we would put those together and purchase those materials for the site. And then planting, I mentioned earlier, we work with either local contractors or we have some equipment in-house that we can do the planting. And then we're there that whole 10-year period for post-planting maintenance and technical assistance throughout that whole 10-year period of the agreement. So if anything comes up, some weird weed starts growing and you don't know what it is, you can call us and we'll come out and take a look. I always put this one in because site prep is the most important part of any planting restoration project. And there are many ways to do site prep. Each site is different. So for a seeding, we want to remove any invasive weeds or vegetation that's there because we need good seed to soil contact for that seed to get in the ground to be successful. And so some ways we do that are herbicide, smothering, solarization, tilling, prescribed burning, or a combination of those. And all of them have pros and cons and limitations. These are just some of the flowers that are in our dry prairie mix. They wouldn't necessarily be on your site, but I just wanted to give you some pictures of the diversity of plants that would be in the planting. And these would flower all season long from spring till fall. There's different colors, different shapes. We have legumes in here, we have grasses and forbs, which are flowers. This slide just shows some of our projects in the Detroit area that we've started since 2018. So one of our goals is connecting a lot of these projects. We've also done some projects in Trenton. They range in size from very small to, the one there is Palmer Park that has the long, skinny, snake-like thing. That's about 9 acres that we did this year. These are just to give you an idea what some of the site prep can look like. This was Callahan, one of our first projects in Detroit. And that's a no-till drill seeder, which we probably wouldn't use on the library site. We'd probably broadcast seed it just because it's smaller. And that's what you could expect to see the first growing season. Just little seedlings coming up. And this is what you might expect to see year 2 or 3 for the project. We plant heavy forb diversity, so lots of flowers, light on the grasses, and then very heavy seeding density to outcompete the weeds and make it beautiful. This is Palmer Park at 7 Mile and Woodward. This is a nonprofit, Arboretum Detroit in the city, just to show you that, they have paths growing through. This was just planted this year. Amazingly, it looked beautiful the first year. and they have swings. This young lady happened to be driving by the project, had those flowers already in her hair, and had to stop and get a picture taken because it was so beautiful. She wanted to know who had planted it, what had happened, and I don't know her name. I wish I could give her credit for this, but this was a nonprofit. If you ever want to check out this YouTube site, they Sanctuary Farms, or an urban farm in Detroit, and we seeded some there. Another example, different ways of doing site prep. This one, they actually had a guy with a backhoe, or a skid steer rather, doing some sidewalk work, and they went over to him and said, could you remove the sod for us here so we don't spray it? And for $200, he came and did it for him. This is a golf course that we restored in Detroit. And this is Joe Louis Greenway. And this is just to show you it does take patience. This one was seeded, and we usually have it mowed the first year to keep the weeds down so they don't outcompete the natives, but you can see on that small little picture on the top right, it's a little milkweed coming through. And then we do provide signage, the Fish and Wildlife Service signs there, but you're free to put up any other informational signs as well during the process or after. I'm wrapping up. So what the Partners Program has to offer, we have a group of professional biologists with knowledge, skills, and abilities to get the job done. We provide on-site technical assistance and cost share, and the flexibility to partner with many other organizations. This is just a map showing we have biologists all throughout the state, unfortunately not the UP. And then I threw this one in. I'm sorry it wasn't in the packet, but this was just kind of and it's not exact, but I wanted to just have a map in here for the area that we were thinking about seeding. And this is about a half an acre, and it really could be a collaborative project, and I think really great for community and student engagement, or as an outdoor learning space. And again, you could have seating and paths and signage. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Did anyone from council have any questions based on the presentation, Timber?
Yeah, I like the whole idea. I think it's going to be a nice asset to the city. But I do have one question. It won't interfere with any renovations or anything that we're going to be doing in the future, right? No. At that site? Okay, good, because I didn't want to kind of overlap each other there.
Yep.
All right, great, perfect, thank you.
Cool. So, Don, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, just basically to make a motion to move forward to create a plan and sign that 10-year agreement for maintenance and keeping it there.
So moved.
And moved and supported. Just for folks watching at home that might not have seen it, the area that they're talking about doing it is so just to the west of the library, between the library, or I apologize, hang on, I'm gonna actually pull up the exact.
Yep, you're right.
Just so I can see it on my screen too. I know there was a picture of it in here. Right here.
There you go.
Oh, it's on that one. Okay, on that one. Yep. There you go. So so folks can see there. Yep, to the west of the library, between the building and the creek. That should be. Sure.
Is this permanent dedication?
It would be permanent, yes. I mean, that's the hope. We're signing a 10-year agreement before any changes could be made into it, but.
It's very nice what you're doing. I just worried. I mean, I always have my eyes on expanding the library because it's something
Yeah.
for books.
Honestly, I don't think that the land on that side would be good for any
Buildable for the
type of
most part.
foundation or any type of building.
Yep.
Yeah,
Floods.
it's a good
Yeah.
question.
Oh,
Yep.
Councilwoman Von Kirks.
Just one question. It almost sounds, in some regards, that it's an open-ended checkbook. In other words, when you say cost sharing, they're liable for some of the costs, but so are we, it sounds like. So how do you know what the long and short of that could be?
Yeah, that's a great question. It will all be laid out in the agreement that you would sign. So there won't be any surprises later.
Right, so before we sign the agreement, we'll see what we would be up against financially.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
on both ends.
The only thing that wouldn't be in there is if something, like the maintenance, I mean, we do give you cost share for that, but it's estimated, for mowing and things like that. But it'll all be, laid out in a budget table in the agreement.
Yeah, and who in our DPW, or who in our fleet of workers would be responsible for this, or who, you or us, or, I just want to see
Yep.
the agreement before we sign.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anyone else? All right, seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Very exciting stuff. All right, Mr. Deputy Clerk, do we have any late items?
No, we do not.
Great. We'll go to our disbursements and statements, and then our reports. So I'll kick this over to our Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman Benedetti.
Thank you, Mayor. Make a motion to approve the authorized disbursements for November 25th, 2024, the amount of $860,461.75.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered.
Make a motion to receive and place on file the Culture Commission minutes, September 28th, 2024, Downtown Development Authority minutes, October 10th, 2024, Historical Commission minutes, October 28th, 2024, Planning Commission public hearing minutes, August 23rd, 2023, and the Police Department monthly report, October 2024.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, it's unanimously so ordered. Thank you, Councilman. All right, we'll go to other council business now. Just very briefly on my end, I want to remind folks that we will have our Christmas parade and tree lighting coming up, not this coming Saturday, but the one after on December 7th downtown. So should be a really good time there. Hopefully not too cold, but always good to see a big crowd for it there. And not to get too far ahead there, as well, but do just want to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving beforehand too. So I hope everyone's been able to enjoy some time with their loved ones. So that is all I have, and so we'll start with Councilwoman Bond Crooks tonight.
Oh, gee, thanks, Mayor. I just like to let everybody know how they got to come see City Hall. The workers in City Hall did a beautiful job decorating. It really, really looks nice if you get a chance to stop by. And I know they worked hard and they deserve a lot of credit for, first of all, the DPS brings everything up and then they decorate. So I think you did a beautiful job. It looks really nice and the tree's beautiful outside and just looks nice. And a happy Thanksgiving. Really nothing more tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Benedetti.
Nothing, just wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving for the upcoming week, and that's it.
All righty. Councilwoman Hornbeck.
Same, just wanted to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
All right. And Councilman Cabawatton.
Yes, Mayor, just a couple of quick things here. I just want to remind everybody that Wayne County kicked off their Light Fest in Hines Park this week, or last week, I'm sorry. So that is open, I believe, up through December 24th is the last day. So if you haven't been there, it's a pretty nice display of holiday lights throughout the Hines Drive area there. Also, they have, and I haven't seen it yet, but I understand that they have done some lighting up at Elizabeth Park here too. So that's a nice addition. I think it was backed by popular demand. Another quick thing, as winter's coming here and we've had a couple slick roads here, a couple days of slick roads, I just want to remind everybody, when there is snow, just take it slow. Don't crowd the plow. Those same things that we say every year, but there's really people that operate those trucks who want to make sure everybody gets home safe. So please take that in mind. Keep that in mind when we're out there driving around, especially the holidays here, where they're thinking we might get some snow either this week or next week. So it could be a reality. And then other than that, I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much. We'll go to our other elected officials now here. Mr. Deputy Clerk, do you have anything else?
Yes, so City Hall will be closed on Thursday, the 28th, and Friday, the 29th this week for the Thanksgiving holiday. So the next regular council meeting will be a week from today, next Monday, December 2nd at 7 p.m.
Fantastic, thank you. Our assessor, Ms. Burnett, do you have anything? All right, nothing. Mr. McCullough, our treasurer here. How are you tonight?
Hey, I missed you, and I'm back. So I just got a couple items. One, of course, is the tax bills will be going out. We're going to be dropping them in the mail probably Wednesday night. But just cautionary, I know some of you are very anxious to pay those bills. We will not be able to accept them until Monday when we reopen after the Thanksgiving holiday. But want to thank staff for getting it all prepared and getting it over to the printers for distribution. and appreciate everybody that pays their taxes. Those that don't will get a special reminder in the form of a bill. So anyways, by the way, they are due the 14th of February, so you got a little bit of time, but they are due the 14th of February without a penalty. I got some other news, some exciting news, but you all know about it because you approved it. I believe it was last week. And for lack of a better word, it's called the Bougie Banquet. And the Bougie Banquet, just for those that don't know and for those at home, includes the state of the city, traditional state of the city, and it also includes the awards banquet, and it's also the night before Valentine's Eve. So it's open to everybody, and we're looking forward to having it. It's going to be at Westfield, but it's going to be a complete makeover. And how many know the definition of bougie? Okay, I see one finger going up. I mean, it's a prop. It's okay. Is it only one person knows what bougie is? Anyways, I looked up the definition of bougie. It's a hip hop slang term for a luxurious in lifestyle, yet humble in character, and that's Trenton. And anyways, this is going to be a fun event, and we got a special chocolatier. So, if any questions, we'll let you know a little bit as we get closer. Any questions? Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, and we know it will be extra bougie with you in charge. So. All right. Do any of our department heads have anything for us this evening? Dean, go ahead.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, I just want to make a special note of our treasurer's office and the controller's office in particular, because Mr. Bricky came in here and went through the audit and everything, and another crystal clean audit, and everything that every city doesn't have that. Time and time again, they step up and perform really well, tell me no when I need to be told no, but make sure the books are kept right and everything is square and within the confines of the law and everything. And they're kind of the people in the background that make sure everything is affordable and everything is funded. And I just want to recognize them in addition to Mr. McCullough, Amanda Tackett, and of course Jill Cooper. So just a special little some props to them. So that's it.
Very much so. All righty. Tim?
Thank you, Mayor. We will be at the Westfield Center tomorrow morning from 8:30 to 11 for our breakfast, free community breakfast for everybody. Hope to see everybody out there tomorrow. We've been able to put this on by some great sponsors, Tim Hortons and Brooke Brock helping us out. And then also, I don't know that it'll be as bougie, but we'll see what we can do. It'll be great breakfast, so we'll go from there.
Great. We'll see you there in the morning, Tim. Thanks. All right, any other department heads? All right, seeing none, we'll go to public comment now. Anyone wishing to speak, please begin with your name and address. Direct all questions through me, and please limit your comment to 5 minutes. We'll go to anyone in person first, then those on the Zoom, if anyone wants to raise their hand on the Zoom. Not seeing anything there. Nope. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Moved and supported for adjournment at 7:49. We'll see you all in a week.